Welcome to Fun Time Travel. We're super excited to continue our review of the Carnival Mardi Gras. I'm Ron, this is Melissa,
Yep.
and we're here to just tell you our thoughts. All right, so we're going to talk about the muster drill. And, in the past, the muster drills were just not, muster drill was never fun. They're always calling out names of people, and this time it was just way different.
Yeah, it was super quick, easy, painless. The best part was you didn't have to pack in like sardines out in the heat like for an hour,
Yeah, it was so good. We got on the boat, and because we knew that this new muster drill was the way they were going to do it, we jumped right onto the app, and we were able to watch the videos that we were supposed to watch, and then we found ours was in the main dining room. Went to the main dining room, and I think we were done in like maybe 20 minutes.
If that. I mean, it was fast.
Well, I mean, the muster drill wasn't 20. I'm just saying,
Right.
maybe 20 minutes after we got on the ship.
Right. Well, and the best thing is you don't have to wait for your key card. When you get your boarding pass, it has your muster station on it, so you don't have to wait around. You can just get on and do that first thing, get out of the way.
Get it over with, then you can start having fun. We wanted to talk about the elevators and kind of the hallways and passageways and everything on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not a big deal to you, but gosh, it always seems like something comes up about the elevators. And I think, like the hallways and everything around our cabin, going through the cabins, we noticed it seemed like maybe all of the walkway areas were just a little bit bigger.
Yes.
A little bit more comfortable.
You could get around people, you could get around the crew workers, you could get, even if with your luggage you didn't feel like you were, you had to like stop and hold everything against the wall to let someone pass. There was definitely more room.
Typically you have, in the aft, there's 4 elevators, at least on the ships that we've been on. Midships, there's 6. Sometimes you have the glass elevators to add to that. And then at the front of the ship, there's 4. And on this ship,
You had the ends in the middle.
The ends in the middle. Are you practicing to be a flight attendant?
The ends
Here,
in the middle.
here,
No,
and here.
you had the elevators they seemed like,
Yeah, there
was more.
There were 6 in the aft. There were 8 midships, and then there were 6 forward. And it just seemed like they were faster, maybe.
Yeah, I think they were faster. There's definitely more elevators. The only issue that I had was that the elevators themselves are all definitely smaller.
I would agree with that.
And
or we're getting big. I'm getting bigger.
no,
anyway.
they were smaller. And you could fit like maybe 8 grown adults.
Yeah, the sign on the thing
said 15 people.
I
There's
thought it said
no
17
way.
or 19.
Gosh, no.
There's no way, unless they're
There's no way.
leprechauns. Maybe if you get 17 leprechauns.
Or maybe if you had like someone sit on your shoulders.
On our cruise, it seemed like there were more people in scooters and wheelchairs. I'm not sure why. It might be our imagination, but that always seemed like there was always some. If you're in a mobility scooter or wheelchair, it just seemed like there was always somebody waiting.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why that was. We always tried to share or we'd give up our spot.
Because let them go,
especially with COVID still being a thing, we whatever, we'll wait. We didn't have anywhere to go. We weren't in a hurry.
The problem too is for a scooter or a wheelchair, I think they could only go in straight and stop, and then when they got out, they'd have to back out. There's no turning in there for them. That's it, and you could maybe fit like 4 or 5 people around them, if that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely smaller. But a lot more of them.
More of them, and having said that, if I was in a mobility scooter, this would be the ship for me. Some of the ADA cabins are really cool for the balconies, and like we said before, the wider walkways seem to make that more convenient. So maybe there's a trade-off between the smaller elevators and wider walkways. I don't know. Okay, so entertainment. What did you think of the entertainment?
Overall, I was impressed. Overall.
Yeah.
When you think about all of it, because you could be entertained 24/7 basically. I mean, there was always something going on, more so than any other boat, because they have so much more room and so much more space for people.
It just seemed like every time you turned a corner, there was something new. The backyard band in the Pig and Anchor bar, they played everything from pop to rock to country.
They were one of our favorites.
The Beatles. I mean, it was. They were really impressive. I really enjoyed them. That whole venue back there, the Pig and Anchor and the Heroes Bar, just such a great spot. I think we spent most of our time listening to music, playing shuffleboard.
Yep. Then the Brass Magnolia, they always had jazz music going of some kind.
The jazz players had some people from the backyard bands sit in with them.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was really, really cool,
awesome.
And it seemed like everybody wanted more of that. The center stage band, which was at the center of the ship there at Grand Central, they played R&B, they played some blues, they played like some gospel type stuff, played rock, and they would be at home on any stage in the country. They were fantastic. I think the theater was I hate to say that I didn't like the theater, because we love theater, the theater shows and whatnot, but this theater, it wasn't so much the performers. The performers were just out of this world, but the theater itself was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, it was hard. It was, every time we were in there, it was definitely warm, and the seats were so close together, and they didn't have the tables like they had like in the other theaters on the boats that we've had, like where you could have bar service. So they had no bar service in there. It literally was like theater sitting, you go in there. But the shows, the first one, the Rock Revolution, was amazing.
The second show that we saw in the theater, which was Broadway Beats, I think we were the second cruise that they performed it on. Maybe they're working out some kinks, but it could have been better, is probably a nice way of putting it.
It just seemed very, again, it was very hot in there. You're packed in, and it was sleepy. It's like they took songs that that are upbeat, and they slowed everything down. And so
it made them unfamiliar. You couldn't sing along.
Yeah, you couldn't follow. And then all around us, people are like, and nobody in our group. Okay, well, maybe one or two people, but
out of the four of us, maybe 2 or 3 or 4. No.
But I mean, behind us, in front of us, down, around. It wasn't even halfway through the show, and
people were trickling out, and it became a flood.
Out. It was sad.
I felt really bad for the performers.
Are amazingly talented. It was just like, it was the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Yeah.
For us, anyways.
Yeah, and it seemed like it wasn't just for us.
Right.
Grand Central had some great shows. They did Deal or No Deal in there. Speaking of shows, they did Family Feud in the theater, and that was really, really cool.
The adult version.
The regular version was
hilarious.
cool. The adult version was even more entertaining. And because it's live, you never know what you're going to get. So, your mileage may vary. But the Grand Central shows, they use that stage for all kinds of different acts. It's just such a great venue, and I think that's why we were maybe a little disappointed with the theater, because Grand Central they just did everything right in there.
Well, and the cool thing was, during the day, they would have stuff going on too. Like at one point, they had learn how to country line dance.
And bingo.
Yeah.
And, all the stuff. Yeah, there was always something going on. So I think, probably the takeaway we would probably want you to hear is there's so much entertainment, you're not going to be able to take it all in, which is great.
Yeah.
And I think with a ship like Mardi Gras, as big as it is, you could go again and have a completely different cruise and still enjoy it.
Yeah.